You're about to see 10 scams that don't look like scams at all. No sketchy emails riddled with typos, no obvious red flags, no broken English or blurry logos. These are the scams that look completely legit, professional, polished, and convincing enough to fool smart, careful people every single day. In fact, some of these are so well disguised that even people who consider themselves scam-proof have fallen for them, without realizing it until the money was already gone. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, exactly what these scams have in common, and exactly why they keep working even as more people become aware of them. And stick around, because I'm giving you 5 simple habits at the end that will protect you from almost every scam on this list, and probably a few that haven't even been invented yet. I'm willing to bet at least 3 of these have already happened to you, or come close. Let's start with number 10. At number 10, the fake invoice scam. This one works because it doesn't ask you for anything. It just tells you something happened. You get an email that looks exactly like a receipt, a software subscription renewal, an antivirus charge, a streaming service upgrade. The logo is right. The formatting is right. The layout matches what you'd expect down to the font. And the amount charged is just high enough to make you panic, usually somewhere between $200 and $600. A number specifically chosen because it's painful enough to react to immediately, but not so large that it feels obviously fake. Here's the trick. There's no link to click and no attachment to open, which is exactly why it slips past spam filters that are trained to catch malicious links. Instead, there's just a phone number to call if you want to dispute the charge. The moment you call, you're not talking to a company. You're talking to a scammer working from a script, and their entire job is to walk you through canceling the payment by getting remote access to your computer or talking you into reading off your card number so they can process the refund. The tell is simple once you know it. Real companies do not ask you to call a number to cancel a charge that hasn't actually happened yet. If you didn't authorize a payment, you dispute it through your bank directly, never through a number printed on the email itself. But here's what makes this one especially dangerous. Some of these fake invoices are timed to land right after a real subscription renewal, so the fake charge doesn't even look out of place sitting next to the real one you just paid. Your guard is already down because you're expecting an email like that anyway. You won't believe what's coming up next because this one takes something completely legal and turns it into one of the most profitable scams in the country. Number 9, the subscription trap. This one is legal, which is exactly what makes it so dangerous. Nobody's going to jail for this one, and that's precisely why it's allowed to run at massive scale. You sign up for a free trial, 7 days, no obligation, except it does require a card, just to verify your identity. The website is clean. The offer is real. The product might even be genuinely decent. There's no lie in the pitch itself. Here's what they don't make obvious. The trial converts to a full-price subscription automatically the moment the clock runs out, and the cancellation process is buried 3 or 4 menus deep, sometimes requiring a phone call during limited business hours just to shut it off. Some companies design the entire cancellation flow around what's known as confirm shaming, buttons labeled with guilt trip language like, "No, I don't want to save money," or a cancellation page that keeps throwing new discount offers at you specifically to interrupt the process and buy another billing cycle. The real cost here isn't one bad charge. It's the accumulation. The average person right now is currently paying for at least one subscription they've completely forgotten about, and once you count small recurring charges, apps, cloud storage, niche streaming platforms, premium versions of free apps, that number climbs a lot higher for most households than people expect. I'm sure you've been a victim of the next one, because almost everyone who shops online has gotten this exact message at least once. At number 8, the fake delivery text. If you've ordered anything online in the last few years, you've probably already seen this one land in your messages. A text arrives out of nowhere. Your package could not be delivered. Update your delivery preferences here. The link looks almost right. A shipping company's name with one letter swapped, or a shortened link designed specifically to hide where it actually leads. Click it, and you land on a page that looks nearly identical to a real delivery service's website. It asks for a small redelivery fee, usually under $2, just to reschedule. That tiny amount is the entire point of the scam. It was never about the money. It's about getting a live card number into their system, because once you type it in, they now have your card details, your expiration date, and in a lot of versions, that same page quietly collects your name, your address, and your email address in the background while you're focused on the small fee. The tell is the size of the request itself. Real shipping carriers do not charge redelivery fees through a text message link, and they never need your full card information just to reschedule a package that's already been fully paid for by whoever sent it. This particular scam surges hard every single holiday season, and it's not a coincidence. Millions of real packages are moving across the country at the exact same time, so a fake delivery text blends in perfectly next to a dozen real shipping notifications sitting in your inbox already. You're not going to see this next one coming because it flips the entire scam script. Instead of you getting scammed by someone asking for money, it's someone giving you money first. Number 7, the overpayment scam. This one specifically targets people selling something online. Furniture, a used car, concert tickets, a couch. Honestly, anything listed for sale. A buyer reaches out and agrees to your asking price almost instantly, which already should feel a little unusual. Then they send a cashier's check or an electronic payment for more than what you actually asked for. They apologize for the mistake and ask you to refund the difference, often specifically requesting that refund through a gift card or a wire transfer instead of a normal payment method. Here's what's actually happening behind the scenes. The original payment is fake from the start. The check will bounce, or the electronic payment will get reversed days later once the bank catches it, but by that point you've already sent your own real money back to them. And here's the part that catches people off guard the worst. Your bank will hold you personally responsible for the loss because you're the one who deposited a fraudulent check into your account. The giveaway is the pattern itself. Once you see it laid out, nobody accidentally overpays a stranger and then asks for the extra amount back specifically through a gift card. Legitimate buyers pay the agreed amount and nothing more, and refunds, on the rare occasion they're even needed, go back through the exact same method the payment originally came in through. Coming up next is one that plays entirely on your emotions, and it's the one people feel the worst about after they realize what happened. At number 6, the fake charity drive. This one is emotionally the hardest to say no to, which is exactly why it works so well and why it keeps coming back year after year. Right after a natural disaster, a tragedy that's dominating the news cycle, or during the holiday season, donation requests spike everywhere all at once. Social media posts, phone calls, door-to-door collectors carrying clipboards and wearing vests that look official. Most of these are completely real and legitimate. Some aren't, and the fake ones are specifically designed to be indistinguishable from the real ones at first glance. Fake charities often use names that sound almost identical to well-known, trusted organizations, just close enough in wording or spelling that most people don't notice the difference unless they're looking for it. They'll lean on emotional imagery, urgent language, and pressure you to donate immediately right now before you have time to think it through or look anything up. The red flag is urgency paired with vagueness. Real charities can tell you exactly where your money goes, how much reaches the actual cause, and are completely fine with you taking time to verify their registration before you donate a single dollar. A legitimate organization will never rush you or make you feel guilty for wanting to check first. A simple 30-second search of a charity's registration status before donating eliminates almost this entire category of scam before it even has a chance to work on you. You'll be surprised by the next one because it's been sitting in plain sight for years and it's probably interrupted something you were doing on your computer more than once. Number 5, the tech support pop-up. If you've used the internet for more than about 10 minutes in your entire life, you have almost certainly seen this exact screen appear out of nowhere. A pop-up suddenly takes over your entire browser window. Flashing red warnings fill the screen. A loud, jarring alarm sound starts blasting from your speakers. Your computer is infected. Do not turn off your device. Call Microsoft support immediately. Displayed alongside a phone number and sometimes even a countdown timer specifically designed to spike your panic and stop you from thinking clearly. None of it is real. It's just a web page built to mimic a system alert, and no legitimate tech company on Earth detects a virus through your web browser and then tells you to call a phone number to fix it. If you do call, you'll reach someone who asks for remote access to your computer to fix the supposed problem, and depending on the version of the scam, they'll either install actual malware while they have access, lock you out of your own files, and demand payment to unlock them, or simply walk you through paying for a completely fake support subscription that does nothing at all. The fix here is almost embarrassingly simple once you know it. Close the browser tab. If the screen is frozen and won't let you close it normally, force quit the browser entirely through your task manager. That's the whole solution to a scam that has convinced people to hand over hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars out of pure panic. I'm sure this next one has landed in your inbox or your group chat at some point, because everyone's looking for work right now and scammers know it. At number 4, the fake job offer. And this one has absolutely exploded alongside the rise of remote work over the last few years. You get a message, often through a job site or directly through social media, offering a position that pays surprisingly well for very little required experience. The interview, if there's even a real one, happens entirely through text chat with no video call at any point. You're hired almost immediately, sometimes within the same conversation. Then comes the ask. They need to send you equipment to start the job, but first, you need to pay a processing fee to receive it. Or you're told to buy your own equipment up front and get reimbursed on your first paycheck. In some versions, they actually send you a real-looking check to cover supplies, and just like the overpayment scam, that check bounces days after you've already spent the money on their instructions. Legitimate employers do not ask brand new hires to pay them money before starting a job. Full stop, no exceptions. That single rule alone filters out almost every version of this scam, no matter how professional the job posting looked or how convincing the recruiter sounded. You won't believe how many people trust this next one simply because it shows up somewhere they already trust. The reviews sitting right on the product page itself. Number 3, the fake review and fake product listing. This one lives entirely inside places you already trust every single day. Major marketplace websites and search results you use without a second thought. A product listing shows 5 stars, hundreds of glowing reviews, and a price that seems just slightly too good to pass up? You order it. What actually arrives is either a cheap knockoff that barely resembles the photos, a completely different item altogether, or in some cases, nothing at all, followed by the entire listing mysteriously disappearing from the site a few weeks later, along with any way to leave a review warning the next person. The reviews themselves are frequently part of the scam. They're often bulk purchased, posted in coordinated waves within hours of each other, and written using oddly generic language that repeats word for word across completely unrelated products, if you look closely enough. Many of these verified 5-star reviews get posted within days of one another, or the seller account itself was only created a few months ago, despite somehow already having thousands of glowing ratings attached to it. Checking a seller's account age, scanning for repeated phrasing across reviews, and staying skeptical of prices that sit dramatically lower than everywhere else on the internet will catch the vast majority of these fake listings before you ever click Buy Now. This next one might be the scariest on the entire list, because it can come from a phone number that looks exactly like the real thing. At number 2, the utility shutoff threat. This one specifically preys on the fear of losing something you absolutely cannot live without: your power, your water, or your gas. A call comes in, sometimes from a number that matches your real utility provider's caller ID exactly, because caller ID itself can be faked with almost no effort. The voice, sometimes fully automated, sometimes a live person reading from a script, tells you your service will be shut off within the hour unless you make an immediate payment, almost always through a prepaid card or a cash payment app. Real utility companies do not disconnect service with just an hour's notice over a phone call, and they never demand payment exclusively through gift cards or cash apps. That specific payment method alone is the single biggest red flag across nearly every scam on this entire list. It's untraceable, it's instant, and once it's sent, it's completely gone with no way to reverse it. If you ever receive this kind of call, hang up immediately and call the number printed directly on your actual utility bill. Not the number they gave you over the phone, the one you already have on record, sitting in a drawer or saved in your account, and now, the one I've saved for last, because I truly believe this is the one most likely to happen to you specifically, no matter how careful you think you are. And taking the number 1 spot, the account verification scam, because this is the one specifically built to defeat people who think they're too smart and too careful to ever fall for anything on this list. A message arrives, by text or by email, appearing to come from your bank, a payment app, or a major online account you use regularly. Unusual activity detected. Verify your identity now to avoid account suspension. The link leads to a login page that is pixel for pixel identical to the real one you've logged into 100 times before. You type in your username and password exactly like you've done 100 times, without thinking twice, and just like that, the scammer now has your real credentials live in real time. Some versions go even further and ask for the one-time verification code you receive right after entering your password, which means they can log into your actual, real account while you're still sitting on their fake one, completely unaware anything went wrong. This scam earns the number 1 spot because it doesn't rely on you being careless or uninformed. It relies on you being fast. It's specifically designed for the exact moment you're distracted, half paying attention, and moving through your phone on autopilot the way we all do dozens of times a day. The single habit that defeats this scam completely every time: never click the link inside the message. Open the app or the website yourself, the exact way you always do, and check your account directly from there. If there's actually a real problem, it'll be sitting right there waiting for you when you log in the normal way. Here's the good news after all of that. You don't need 10 different defenses for 10 different scams. Almost everything on this entire list falls apart against these 5 simple habits. 1. Slow down before you act. Every single scam on this list depends on urgency. A countdown, a threat, a deadline pressed right up against you. Real problems from real companies can wait 10 minutes while you take the time to verify them properly. 2. Never pay with gift cards or wire transfers to someone you don't personally know. No legitimate company, government agency, or utility provider will ever ask for payment this way. If that's the request being made of you, it's a scam, no exceptions whatsoever. 3. Go to the source yourself. Don't click the link sitting in the text or the email. Open your banking app, your utility account, or the company's actual website directly, the exact same way you always do, and check your account information from there instead. 4. Verify before you give. For charities, sellers, or job offers, a simple 30-second search can confirm whether something is real before you ever commit a single dollar to it. 5. Trust the small inconsistencies. A slightly wrong number, an unusual payment method, a rushed and pushy tone. Scammers have gotten good, but they're rarely perfect. That small nagging feeling that something's just a little off is usually right, and it's worth listening to every single time. That's 10 scams that look completely legit, and 5 habits that protect you from almost all of them at once. The scary part isn't really how sophisticated these have gotten over the years. It's how ordinary and unremarkable they've started to look sitting right next to everything else in your inbox. If this opened your eyes to something you didn't know about before, hit that like button and drop a comment telling me which one of these has actually happened to you, or came close to happening to you. Share this with someone who genuinely needs to see it. Your parents, a friend who just started selling stuff online, anyone in your life who could use the heads up before it's too late.